Is there a connection between psychology and Chassidus?
No. Period. Now, of course, I know how controversial that is. And I know to what extent that that's the wrong answer to the question. I'm not supposed to say that. But I'm saying it because I believe it. And I don't only believe it because I want it to be true, I believe it because I think it's actually true. And I think it's important for people to understand the distinction. You know, I have an adage, I have a quotable quote, which I attribute to myself. And I'm certainly not the first one to ever say this, but it's common sense. Correlation is always simplification. Whenever you compare two things to one another, you make each one of them less. It's a fact of life. So many people who engage in ideas, right? We live in an age of information. Everybody knows everything. You can Google anything online and you can sound smart. And there's a huge tendency amongst people to say, oh, this is like this. You mean this is like this? The fact is, real intellectuals do not engage in correlating. Real intellectuals engage in discerning, in distinguishing. In yeshivische Sprach, nafkemine. Smart people don't show how things are the same, they show how things are different. Because the whole purpose of knowledge is salslot. You separate hairs and then you reach depth, which is not available when they're entangled. And as a rule, and please don't be insulted, people who correlate are pseudo-intellectuals. Smart people don't compare things, they separate them. And this is true in everything, and it's certainly true in schools of thought and bodies of knowledge. I am not comfortable speaking about psychology and Chassidus in the same sentence because psychology is a humanly concocted system of reason, which is brilliant. But it's, like it says in the Yem Chukim was werden geschaffen von Leben, it's a system of logic and science, if you want to call it that, that's a consequence of life. And Teira is Chukim was schaffen Leben. Teira comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and Tanya is a part of Teira. And it's the source of the creation and it gives life to the creation. So any kind of correlating between Chochma Pnimis and Chochma Chitzenius is a disservice to Teira, and it's also a disservice to Chochma Chitzenius. But even taking Teira out of it, when we compare one school of thought to another, right, philosophy to psychology, right, for example, or the sciences to the humanities, you pick the correlation. You diminish both. Chemistry to physics, biology to chemistry, they're separate. And real learning is about understanding each system and its laws and its criterion individually. Of course, in the end, it all fits together. And it becomes a lattice, and it becomes a panorama, and it becomes a beautiful tapestry. But the robustness, the viability of the whole is predicated by the robustness and the viability of each part. And people have this need to correlate, and you diminish yourself, and you diminish your body of knowledge, and you diminish your critical thinking, you diminish real learning. And before you even get to the Kedusha and Choil issue, when you compare two systems of reason that were designed for distinct purposes, you diminish the two of them, okay? Psychology is a field of mental health. What is the meaning of the words mental health? Mental health means psychology is a tool to achieve health, period. Just like if a person has a broken arm, so you go to a doctor who heals bones. If a person has a problem with his eyes, he goes to a doctor who heals eyes. If a person has a problem with his spirit, a chayil nefesh, he goes to a doctor who heals the spirit. But that's what it is. Psychology is not a way of life. Psychology doesn't teach you how to live. It's not supposed to teach you how to live. Psychology is supposed to help you address the inhibitions or the suppression or the neuroses that a person experiences in his life because of whatever reasons. It's because of societal pressures, childhood, doesn't matter what, that hold you back and give you the techniques and the tools to redeem yourself from this containment, from this Mitzrayim, so that you should be mentally healthy, emotionally healthy, you should be able to live. But psychology is not a life. Psychology is not a life. Psychology is a healing technique. It's a healing system that works very effectively if it's used wisely. Torah is a way of life. Chassidus is not healing your mental problems. Chassidus is teaching you how to live. Chassidus is teaching you that you have to connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And if you had to distinguish Torah from Chassidus, which really should not be done because it's Torah Achas L'Kulona, you would say that Torah teaches you how to connect to the Eibishter through mitzvahs. And Chassidus wants to teach you how to experience your connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu by bringing the Eibishter into your mind and into your heart through meditation and through human experiences and so on and so forth. And of course, in the process, Chassidus teaches you the struggle between the Yetzer Tov and the Yetzer Hara. But the struggle between the Yetzer Tov and the Yetzer Hara is not mental illness. The struggle between the Yetzer Tov and the Yetzer Hara is health. Psychology deals with a person who needs to address a challenge that inhibits him emotionally, psychologically, as a person, needs to overcome it, and health is achieved, and that's it. Chassidus is not dealing with mental illness. Chassidus says to a human being, Here's a chayin, the Eibush gave you Yetzer Tov, and the Eibush gave you Yetzer Hara. You were born with them, and you're going to die with them. That's not an illness. It's you. This is your state of health. And if you want to live a meaningful life, this is how you engage the Yetzer Tov and the Yetzer Hara. This is how you engage Nefesh Elokis and the Nefesh HaBahamis. So your life should be meaningful and uplifted and with a purpose, and ultimately you should be a servant of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There are ideas in Chassidus which seem so similar to psychology. There are ideas in psychology which have certain sensitivities that sound like Chassidus, but they're different fields. They come from different sources. Psychology analyzes a human being. Chassidus analyzes a human spirit, a human neshama. Even the Nefesh HaBahamis is a spiritual thing. And it's not talking about its weaknesses. It's not talking about it's holding you back. It's talking about its reality, what it is. And I think we certainly do Chassidus a disservice. But I also believe we do psychology a disservice. When you make a challenge, when you mix and match, when you decide that things, because they sound similar, one is coming from heaven to earth, the other is coming from earth to heaven. They never meet. Torah and Chochmas Chitenius will never meet, period. The wisdom of God and the wisdom of man cannot converge. They can come close, they can appear similar, you can find correlation. The Rambam wrote a Meir Nevuchim to explain Torah philosophy, but the Rambam himself says that he's only doing this because of the challenges that people have in their faith. But you cannot ideally correlate Torah and Welt. They're opposites, they're different.